Sneakers are dead. No, I'm just kidding. But the resale market is. Well, no, I guess that's not even fully true either, but the prices are lower than they've ever been on a lot of some of the best sneaker releases out there. And in today's video, I'm gonna count down 10 of the best sneakers that you can grab right now for way under what they used to cost, and in many cases, below retail. And don't forget, if you wanna grab any of the sneakers mentioned in today's video, and even some that we didn't, and grab some of these pretty amazing steals and deals, I've made sure to link them through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen and in the description below. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Starting off at number 10, we've got the Air Jordan 3 Seoul 2.0. Inspired by the 1988 Seoul Olympics, the Seoul 2.0 Air Jordan 3 is actually the follow-up to the wildly popular Seoul 1.0 Air Jordan 3s. This pair comes mainly in a tumbled white leather upper accented by details that are inspired by traditional Korean clothing, like around the ankle area where you've got this blue sort of nylon stitched area, which I'm not sure exactly what that's from, but obviously inspired by original Korean clothing. You've also got the Korean flag embroidered into one of the tongues, which is a callback to the original Air Jordan 3 soles. The one main difference though is actually the midsole. The midsole comes in this very aged tan color, which is probably inspired by something. I don't think they're going for that just aged look. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. I just don't know what that reason is. But either way, the materials used on this shoe are solid, much better than a standard pair of Air Jordan 3s. The packaging on this shoe is incredible. Like, the shoes actually come inside the box with a little bow on them, which is super rad. And the colorway is super easy to rock. It's pretty similar to a white cement 3, except with a couple changes. Obviously, you've still got the elephant print on the toe and on the heel. And I think those blue and red accents really make this shoe pop. Now, presumably, because this shoe does seem to come with nicer materials than a standard pair of 3s, the retail price was higher than a standard pair of 3s. It came in at $250. But what's wild is the fact that this shoe is currently selling for below retail online. Most men's sizes are selling for around $190. In fact, like a size 8 is selling for $180, a size 12 is selling for $200. It's nuts how cheap this shoe has become. And for $200, this shoe is kind of a no-brainer. It's one of the cleanest Air Jordan 3s to drop all year, and I love the fact that it ties in so nicely with the original Seoul Air Jordan 3s. If you're looking for a clean pair of Air Jordan 3s, then this is one of the best ways to go, especially for the price. It's hard to beat it. Coming in at number 9, the Nike SB Air Max 95 Cactus Flower. This Nike SB Air Max collaboration, I guess it's kind of a collaboration because Nike SB doesn't usually do Air Maxes. I'm not totally sure how it worked internally, but either way, this shoe is a Nike skateboarding version of the Air Max 95. Now in 2025, we've had so many Air Max 95s dropping, probably because it's the 30th anniversary of the Air Max 95, which would make a lot of sense. Most of them do come with big bubbles in the heel. This one doesn't actually, but it's still one of the most comfortable Air Max 95s out there. I mean, comfort-wise, Air Max 95s are all kind of the same. They're all kind of bricks, let's be honest, but they're still relatively comfy on foot, at least I think so. Like most other recent Nike SB collaborations, this shoe comes with a gum outsole, and then it comes with this tonal like gray to black to purple look on the upper of the shoe, which is, I guess, the standard Air Max 95 look. And this cactus flower colorway, this like, I don't really know, I guess it's like a sort of maroon, sort of pink, or I don't really know what to call it, but this, whatever shade of pink it is fire, especially with the black and with the white. This is one of those shoes that, unless you really know what it is not gonna break any necks, but it's still one of the best everyday beaters that I have in my entire collection. In fact, my pair, the reason I don't have it in hand right now is because it is beat. It's completely covered in dirt from, well, I guess just walking around, but still, it's one of those shoes that I throw on all the time. It's it's comfortable enough. I was gonna call it very comfortable, but compared to some of the other shoes in my collection, no, it's not as comfortable as those. But it's one of those shoes that I love throwing on with pretty much any fit. The pink is like just enough of an accent to make it sort of stand out a bit from whatever it is that you're wearing. And I love that Nike SB branding on it. I know it might be a hype beast to like a shoe more because it's a Nike SB, or I guess it's more so because it's a collaboration. But either way, this is one of the best sort of sleeper hits of 2025. And I know this shoe did get a lot of press when it first released, but the reason I'm calling it a sleeper hit is because if you look at the resale price right now, it's retail, which is $185. If you wanted to grab a pair of these right now for resale, you'd be paying the same price that you'd probably be paying if you bought them somewhere else online, because you've got fees and shipping. If you bought them from like a skate store, it'd be like taxes and shipping and things like that. So generally, it's gonna be around $200. It's $185 retail, but after all those fees, probably $200. And again, that's the same price if you were to buy them brand new from a regular retailer. I don't know, it's just a shoe that I'm really drawn to. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, and the fact that you can get it for this price right now is pretty great. But really quick, I wanna give a huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Whatnot. I'm sure by now you've heard of Whatnot because I use Whatnot all the time and I've talked about it a bunch, but Whatnot is a live auction shopping platform with sneaker auctions 24 hours a day, a lot of which starting at $1. In fact, all of my sneaker auctions start at just $1. In fact, I've got my own huge sneaker sale happening this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Links in the top of the description below. If you guys wanna tune in and maybe grab some pairs of sneakers that are on this list for incredible prices, prices, make sure to click the link at the top of the description below, sign up for Whatnot using that link, and get $15 towards your first purchase. Meaning, if you want to grab a pair of sneakers like the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 Navies, you can grab them for $15 cheaper than you'd regularly grab them. Or you can grab a pair of socks for 15 bucks and get them for absolutely free. Doesn't matter, whatever you want to spend the 15 bucks on, it's your 15 bucks to spend. And again, all you need to do to get that 15 bucks is sign up for Whatnot using that link in the top of the description below. I'm on Whatnot at least twice a month, selling pairs from my own personal collection, pairs that I pick up from beater boxes, or selling pairs like this from videos. In fact, I sold this pair for I think 290 bucks on my last Whatnot stream, which is like way less than I bought it for. So if you guys want some steals and deals on possibly early sneakers like this, make sure to tune into my Whatnot stream again this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. But also, Whatnot is a great place to sell your products as well. So whether you're buying or selling, I definitely recommend checking out Whatnot for yourself. And again, if you sign up using that link, you get $15 towards your first purchase. So come hang out with me. Let's talk about sneakers, maybe buy some sneakers, maybe win some sneakers, because I'm giving a bunch of pairs away as well as some pairs of Apothecary socks, of course. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. And huge thank you once again to Whatnot for sponsoring today's video. Number 8, the New Balance 2002R Protection Pack RainCloud. Man, this shoe used to go for like $700, $800, and now it's going for, well, way less than that. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this shoe in previous like best deals available on the internet, but what's crazy is that the price of this shoe keeps getting cheaper and cheaper. I think the last time I talked about it, it was going for like $200, and now it's basically going for retail, which was 150 bucks. You can grab pairs of these in a lot of sizes for 150, and some sizes for like 160, but generally you can buy it for retail. And that's wild because this is genuinely an awesome sneaker. First of all, it's a New Balance 2002R, which look good and are very comfortable, but also because this shoe looks dope. It's got these sort of jaggedy, almost abstract looking tonal gray overlays. It's very clean, it's very wearable. It's one of those New Balance sneakers that a lot of people know about, and if you're a New Balance head, you probably remember this shoe reselling for as much money as it did. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's New Balance not hitting the way it used to, or maybe the resale market tanking, or I don't know what the reason is, but either way, you can grab one of the most hyped up New Balances of the last like 5 years for retail. Maybe it's because they restocked it a couple times. Again, I don't really know for sure, but it's still an amazing sneaker, and it's still a great everyday wear. I actually resold my pair a couple years ago for like 500 bucks after wearing it a bunch, and now I don't have one, and I kind of regret selling. Well, I don't regret selling it because I made some money, but I will say that I would like to have it back, and now is probably a good time to grab it, so I might actually go and grab it after filming this video. Number 7, the Air Jordan 1 Shatter Backboard 2025. All right, this shoe is a little contentious. I know a lot of people were not happy with me saying I didn't like this shoe because it wasn't as good as the original, and I stand by that. I'm not saying I don't like the shoe, I'm just saying that it should have been like the original. They should have dropped the one that was as nice as the original, but they didn't. So we're here now. I've come to terms with it. You guys have let me know that I'm an idiot, and I also did a whole video comparing the leather quality to prove to you guys that the old one was actually better than the new one. In reality though, most people don't really care about the quality and just want to wear the shoe because it looks like the original. And if that's the reason you're grabbing the shoe, great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a very clean black, white, and orange pair of Air Jordan 1s, and it reminds me a lot of the good old days of sneakers. The good old 2015s when Chicago's were releasing, the Shadow Backboards were dropping, sneaker cons were still in the Javits Center. It was a blast back then. While the leather quality of this shoe is not as nice as the original, it's still not bad. It's like your standard Air Jordan 1 leather quality. It gets the job done. And when it first dropped, it retailed for $180. However, because the shoe did not fly off the shelves the way that I think people expected it to, it's sitting, which means that you can grab it online for like well under retail. In fact, the prices that I'm seeing online hover around 140 bucks, $40 less than retail. For the follow-up, or I guess the retro of a shoe that used to go for $1,200, it's still shocking to me how much that shoe used to go for. And even the original one still goes for around 600 bucks, so it's half of what it used to be, but it's still not like cheap. But the new one that looks very similar, albeit a little bit different, yeah, 140 bucks. If you're looking for a black and orange pair of Air Jordan 1s, especially for around Halloween, it's hard to not grab this pair, especially for that price, man. That price is nuts. Speaking of which, Apothecary is dropping our Halloween collection this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time on apothecary.com. Enough time for you to get these socks in for trick-or-treating or whatever it is that you do on Halloween. And of course, a lot of these socks match really well with a lot of sneakers in today's video. Like the bone sock would go really well with the Shadow Backboards. Or hey, if you have the Freddy Kruegers, like a $20,000 shoe, these would go with those. It's like the only sock I've ever seen that would go with those. So next up at number 6, the Air Jordan 5 Fire Red Black Tongue. This shoe just dropped for the first time in like over 10 years. It's the other OG Fire Red colorway. There were two that dropped when the shoe first released. This is the one that features that sort of PE 23 detail on the heel, and the colors are swapped on the midsole. That's like the main difference. Actually, the main difference is in the name. The main difference is that this shoe comes with a black tongue instead of a metallic tongue, but there you go. This shoe is incredibly fire. It's an OG pair of Air Jordan 5s, and this being the year of Air Jordan 5, 5s and apparently Air Max 95s, this is one of those shoes that I was shocked to see not sell out. Now this shoe retailed for $215, which is not cheap, but you can currently buy it online for 180 bucks, which is wild for an OG Air Jordan 5. Personally, I feel like the sneaker market really comes in waves. Right now we're in a very down wave and eventually the prices will go back up. And I think shoes like this are one of those pairs that maybe aren't worth anything right now, but in like 2 or 3 years, maybe go for like $300-400 bucks. I don't know. Not that sneaker resale prices really matter, but if you're looking to grab this shoe, I think now is the time to grab it rather than waiting and seeing what happens. And actually the Fire Red 5s would match really well with these. Speaking of socks that match shoes, but hey, literally a fire shoe that's worth picking up if you like Air Jordan 5s. Also another shoe which I didn't put on the list but could be in the same spot as this shoe are the Grape 5s that are also an OG colorway that also released this year. They're reselling for around the same price except they're like teal and purple instead of black and red. So if you want to grab those instead, I know you guys are so sick of hearing me talk about socks, but yo, this wasn't even on purpose. These would go good with those too. Man, grab the Halloween socks, guys. They're fire. Number 5, the original Air Jordan 3 Ma Mani&eacute. So I know this shoe is a bit older, and I know this is a shoe that a lot of you guys may already have or may have had in the past, but I still think this is one of the best collaborations of all time that Jordan Brand has ever done. I mean, seriously, Ma Mani&eacute, James Whitner, the whole squad knocked this shoe out of the park. And this shoe is still one of my favorite and most worn pairs in my entire collection. This shoe is fire. Like, I can't get over how much I like this sneaker. So it's crazy to me to see a shoe like this, which at one point was reselling for like $800-900, currently reselling in my size for like 288 bucks? That's nuts. Now, it's not a surprise that the other Ma Mani&eacute collaborations aren't going for very much. We've seen that happen for the last like 2 or 3 years. None of them have really been going for over retail, at least not at the moment. In fact, a lot of the recent ones are going for well under retail, even right after they dropped. But the OG one, the one that everyone loved, the sneaker of the year in 2021, to see this shoe go for not under retail, but to go as cheap as what it's currently going for, like maybe $300, maybe $320 if you have a weird size, is nuts to me because it's still an incredible sneaker. The materials that are used on the shoe are still excellent. You've still got that quilted sock liner. You've still got a colorway that just works with everything. It's wild. I mean, seriously, if you've been waiting to get the Ma Mani&eacute 3s, now is the time to do it. It's one of those shoes that like, dang man, I just can't believe how cheap it's going for. Now, when this shoe first dropped, it retailed for $200, but this is one of those shoes that sold out immediately and was reselling for a lot of money. I think when I bought my pair, initially I bought it for $7 something. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but the prices went all the way up to like $800-900 depending on your size. Shout out to the store Lilac Blonde for sending my wife a pair back in the day. That was like an $800 shoe at the time. Very thankful to them for that. So if you guys haven't checked out Lilac Blonde, make sure to check them out. They were awesome for sending her that pair. It was amazing. But even now in this world where grails are getting re-released, prices are plummeting, it is really surprising to see a shoe like this resell for as low as it is. Number 4, the Undefeated Air Jordan 4 2025. All right, so this shoe is kind of a cheat code because while this shoe is not going for under retail, the original version of this shoe used to sell for, well, one pair sold on Sotheby's for $40,000. And yes, I realize this is not the original pair. This is a pair that released this year, but it looks very, very similar other than not having the Jumpman on the heel. But even if we don't talk about the absurd resale price of the original pair, the pair that dropped in 2025 used to go for like $600-700 in a lot of cases, especially around the release. I paid way more for mine and then I ended up hitting on 2 for retail. This is one of the ones I got for retail. I don't remember if I got it from Undefeated or where I got it from, but got it for the retail price of I think $230. It was in fact $230, just double checked. So even if you're just considering the 2025 pair, they were going for a lot and now not so much. Now don't get me wrong, they're still selling for over retail. The resale price, the average resale price of this shoe right now seems to be around $300 to $320 depending on your size. So yes, they're not cheap, but at the same time, compared to what they used to be, yeah, they're pretty cheap. Resale value aside, because resale value shouldn't determine whether you like a sneaker or not like a sneaker, this shoe is fire. The wearability of this shoe is just off the charts. The olive upper is super buttery, looks amazing. I switched out my laces for the orange laces. I think they look great. This shoe could also work pretty well for Halloween. The materials on this shoe do seem nicer than a standard pair of Air Jordan 4s. And the history behind this shoe, I mean, the fact that the Air Jordan 4 Undefeated was the first collaboration Jordan sneaker outside of like Michael Jordan collaborating with Nike is pretty amazing. So there's a lot to love about this shoe. Obviously, it's a bit different than the original, but it's close enough. And as someone who came up in an era never thinking that they would be able to own the Undefeated 4s and then being able to grab multiple pairs for retail was awesome. So I'm really excited to have this pair and I love the fact that it's become a lot more attainable. Speaking of grails that I didn't think I'd be able to own, coming in at number 3, we've got the Nike Air Foamposite Galaxy. So this shoe originally dropped around All-Star Weekend back in 2012 and is one of the most sought after Foamposites of all time. It came with the glow-in-the-dark outsole, it had the Galaxy print on the upper. Someone even traded their car to get a pair of these back in 2012. This is like one of those pairs that newspaper articles are written about, kind of like the staple pigeons. But as we've seen in 2025, Nike decided to open the vaults and bring back basically everything, and a lot of stuff doesn't hit the same way that it used to. For example, this shoe used to resell for like $1,200, in some cases $2,000 depending on the size. But now this 2025 release, which is basically identical, I don't see any differences between the shoe. It's still got the glow in the dark outsole. The print is the same. It's going for under retail in some sizes. Can you believe that? So the retail price of this shoe is $230. I grabbed my pair from Takeout NY, shout out to them. But currently in most sizes, resale is $250. And again, some sizes under retail. Now they are more obscure, probably smaller sizes, but still under retail. Now this shoe is still very popular. It wasn't like the Wu-Tang Dunks, which went from being a $20,000 shoe to like basically a well under retail shoe in every size. This shoe still has some resale value, not much, but some. And it's still a pair that I wear all the time, but the levels of hype that this shoe had are just nowhere near where they used to be. It's kind of like when you look at all the KDs that they're retroing, like the KD Nerfs. That shoe used to go for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Then when they re-dropped it or re-released it, the price just plummeted, and now it's a well under retail shoe. Granted, it doesn't come with that sort of Nerf basketball hoop that used to be in the packaging of the OG pair, but still, it's the same shoe. I know Foamposites are not for everyone. They're a shoe from like the 90s, and not everyone likes the look of them, and they are definitely very brick feeling on foot. But if you like Foamposites, if you grew up when Foamposites were popular like I did, this is a shoe that is really nice to have in your collection because it reminds you of the good old days. And I get that no, it doesn't fit the modern vibe, but still, man, I mess with this shoe heavy. Let me know in the comment section down below, is there a pair of Nike sneakers that you hope they bring back that they haven't brought back yet? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Number 2, the Union LA Air Jordan 1 Chicago Shadow. Man, we were asking for a follow-up to the original Union LA Air Jordan 1s for years, and we never got one, at least not one that was like this. We got the Beffy's Beauty Supplies, which were fine. I think they don't get the love that they deserve. We got a bunch of the KOs, which were not fine. We got some 4s, we got a bunch of other stuff, but never a pair of Air Jordan 1s that kind of looked like this. And then in 2025 for All-Star Weekend, we got one, and the resale price dropped like a rock. It's nuts. So the original Union LA Air Jordan 1 collaborations dropped in 2018 in 2 different colorways, the Storm Blues and the Black Toes. I actually proposed to my wife in the Storm Blues. It's one of my favorite pairs of sneakers in my collection, and I still think that collaboration is one of the best Jordan collaborations of all time. It's amazing. There was a whole new concept. The colors that they picked were amazing, and people loved them. But for whatever reason, they decided not to continue with the success of that particular model and instead release a bunch of other stuff, which was fine, but it just didn't hit the same way. And then I guess Jordan Brand hit up Union LA and was like, listen, guys, we'd really like you to drop a shoe to see if you can regain the hype. And so they dropped this, which granted is a fire shoe. I love this sneaker. But while the resale price of this shoe was around $1,000 before the release, the current resale price on average is like $25 over retail. So the new Union LA Air Jordan 1s retailed for $200, and now you can grab pairs in almost every size for like $225, which is kind of shocking to me because we had asked for this pair or a pair like this for years, and then when they finally give it to us, no one really seemed to care that much. I mean, yes, it's sold out, and yes, there was hype behind it, but now no one cares anymore. And maybe it's because they produced more of these, or maybe people just really don't care about the Air Jordan 1s, which I think does have something to do with it. But for whatever reason, these pairs are, I won't say bricks, but they're not like they used to be. Now, with that being said, I don't think that's a bad thing. I love the fact that people are able to grab sneakers that they've been wanting for years for basically retail. I think that's great. But at the same time, it is wild to see the drop in price of some of the best sneaker releases of the entire year. There are only a few shoes in 2025 that are slowly going up in resale price. And this, although I thought maybe originally it might be one of them, definitely not. But honestly, it's a fire shoe, and it's a pair that I think any Air Jordan 1 or Union LA fan should have in their collection. And now it's time to buy it. Finally coming in at number 1, we've got the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 Navy. So this shoe is the follow-up to the 2023 sneaker of the year, the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 Pine Greens, and it's essentially the same sneaker except in a slightly different colorway. You've got a white leather upper versus sort of a light cream colored leather upper. You've got blue hits instead of green hits. It's still got the gum outsole and the Nike SB branding on the heel, but it's reselling for like $100 less than the other pair. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. It's not reselling. It's selling for under retail. So the retail price of the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 Navies was $225. The average resale price that I'm seeing right now online is like $200. $25 cheaper than what this shoe retailed for a shoe that when it first released was going for like $600. Nutty. I don't say that word lightly. This is nutty. No, but in all seriousness, this shoe is awesome. The color blocking is incredible. It's made more durable for skateboarding, and ironically enough, everyone that I've heard of that skateboarded in this shoe didn't like skateboarding in this shoe because it's not really a model that's great for skateboarding. They did remove the air unit in the forefoot, which actually in my opinion makes the shoe a little bit softer because I think the foam or the insole or something is a bit squishier than the air unit. So I think this shoe is the most comfortable pair of Air Jordan 4s that I've ever worn, this one and the Pine Greens, but not everyone agrees with that. Of course, one of the big changes was changing all these sort of TPU accents to more rubbery accents so that they're more durable for skateboarding. Like they get caught on things, they're not gonna rip off, they're just gonna kind of bounce like this. And really, I mean, you can't hate it. It's just a very wearable, very clean pair of Air Jordan 4s. Because it's mostly white, it works well with a lot of different fits. It's kind of like the military blues, but a bit darker, and that gum outsole, man, makes this a very, very fall-friendly shoe. Actually, winter and fall-friendly, and summer-friendly. I don't know, man. Air Jordan 4s in general are just great all-year-round sneakers. A lot of the shoes in today's video, I'm sure you guys are getting mad about it already, but a lot of shoes in today's video were Jordan sneakers, but that's because Jordans are the ones that have been hit the hardest by this sort of resale slump. For sneakerheads, with Jordans being sort of the main sneakers that we've been buying over the last 20 plus years, it makes sense that this list is that way. I probably should have said this earlier on in the video, but kind of naturally got to this point. I'm shocked that this shoe is not reselling. It's crazy to me, but let me know in the comment section down below if there are any shoes out there that are not reselling for what they used to that you are surprised by. I'd love to know, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video using some of your comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out my upcoming Whatnot live stream linked in the top of the description below. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you all in the next one.